Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming out this afternoon on a Friday to give me some of your time to talk to you about cryptocurrency. And I just wanted to start off by telling you that yesterday I took somebody else's master class for $2,000, and it comes with a money back guarantee. So I got my money back, and essentially it's a 30 DVD series, and it comes with all kinds of other gimmicks and add-ons and junkola. And I'm going to teach you basically the net reward that you get from that entire $2,000 masterclass. I'm going to show it to you today because it's not really giving you a whole lot of information. Now, I'm going to split off the questions. So if you have any questions, I'm talking now, Jim. So if you have any questions, I'm going to I'll take them as you ask them. And as you know, recently the market they're letting the air out of the cryptocurrency market. And one of the things that the crypto gurus don't talk about are all the traders right now who are taking a bath, who chase price up and are now really taking a beating as most of these coins really are taking a dive. And this is just a 24-hour price change today for a lot of coins. You can see that there's a huge number of them in the red. We're going to take a look at some of these valuations, and I'm just going to go over some of my favorite coins, and I'm really going to give you the heads up into how to effectively trade this. Now, cryptocurrencies are hyped as the way to make 10,000%. Essentially, you buy a coin for 0.001 cents, and you sell it for 0.0007 cents. What nobody mentions is the transaction fees, which are significant, and the fact that 95% of these coins cannot be purchased at a limit order. You have to take a market order. And these small coins that trade for that very, very low valuation have very, very, very small volume. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a significant amount of slippage moving in, and you're going to take a significant amount of slippage on the way out. And traders who early on rode this up and are buying and holding are now writing it down. Other traders who bought at the top are now just taking a beating. So you really can't treat this like any different than any other asset class. You can't treat it different than stocks, bonds, notes, crude oil, gold. The only advantage that trading cryptocurrency offers us are two. One, it's extremely volatile, and two, it's a very, very it's a market that's in its infancy, and so it has the potential to provide us with real significant long-term gains. Now, none of the brokerages are willing to trade cryptocurrency for the same reason that it's taking a bath right now. It's very, very difficult to determine what the true valuation is of a coin, because you have to take into consideration many, many factors. And also, unlike a stock, it doesn't report any quarterly earnings. And what most of these altcoins are simply a technology company wrapped around a coin. So what you're really doing is you're really buying the tech component of the coin, not really the coin per se as a peer-to-peer transaction vehicle. So except for Bitcoin and Litecoin, which really have no tech function, all of the other coins are really it's really the tech component that provides them with any valuation whatsoever. And evaluating exactly what their market cap should be is extremely difficult. It's not easy to determine the market cap right now of a company. And what I wanted to do was give you an example, and the example is Ripple. Now, Ripple is one of my favorite altcoins. Now, this is CoinMarketCap.com, and these charts are not that accurate. This daily percentage is not that accurate, but it gives you an idea of what Ripple looks like. Let's just go to Coinigy, and let's find Ripple, and this provides us with a really good chart. And I'm going to go over I'm going to use Ripple as an example. Now let's go to CoinMarketCap and find which exchange it trades on. It trades on Bitfinex. So if we go back to Coinigy, let's go to Bitfinex and go to Ripple. Oh, I don't see it on here. Hang on a second. Where'd it go? Oh, it's XRP. Oh, geez. Okay, excuse me. Here we go. Now, here's Ripple. Now, let's look at this is a Ripple cross Bitcoin. And we don't have here's Ripple cross cash. So let's look at the 1 month. And as a scan, I like to look at the 3 month. Now, here's the problem with Ripple. Ripple is a method of transferring money across vast distances. The Ripple network is lightning fast, and what it does is it doesn't provide the user. It only costs a few cents to transfer money. So what makes it really advantageous is that you can transfer Ripple and only transfer a small amount of money. Now, to put it in a nutshell, I'm not doing a very good job of it, but to put it in a nutshell for you, you can transfer money from one area of the world to the other and only pay a few cents in transaction fees. Now, in order to determine what its market cap should be, we have to look at the market that it's trying to capture. And afterwards, I'm going to show you how to do technical analysis on these, which is what I paid $2,000 for to do on a class yesterday. And I listened to 30 DVDs, which were 10 minutes each for a total of 300 minutes. And basically, I didn't learn any more than I'm going to tell you today. So what the market that's trying to capture are two. One is when you go into the bank and you send a wire, you get a wire transfer fee. And they're going to charge you $35 to transfer money. Now, if you transfer it in US dollars and you want to convert that to another form of payment, like you want to send it, but the end user is going to be trading, is going to be receiving it, say, in Canadian dollars or in British pounds or in rubles, you're going to get an additional cost for making that transfer from one form of fiat currency to the other form of fiat currency. In addition, if you go to Western Union and you make a Western Union transfer, the cost of that is astronomically high. And let me explain to you why. It's real simple to understand why. I have a whole bunch of slides on it, but I'm just going to explain it to you. When you do a wire or you do a Western Union, no money is actually transferred. Like, let's say you go to a Western Union in New York City, and you want to transfer money to some place in Europe. There is no actual transfer of money. All there is a request in the other Western Union office to offer the person who you're sending the money to the ability to pick up the money. All it is simply a request, but no money changes hands. So it becomes a risky transaction from one Western Union office to the other. Now, it's the same thing with a wire, it's a different with a bank wire transfer, but on a Western Union, no money actually changes hands. So they have to go through an enormous amount of paperwork and protocols to make sure that the right person is picking it up, because if they give it away to the wrong person, they're never reimbursed the money by Western Union. When you make a transfer across the Ripple network, you actually make the transfer in Ripple. So the money itself is transferred, and it's validated by a decentralized network. And that decentralized network consists of over 50,000 servers located worldwide. So if you send it from one place to the other takes no risk in giving the money out, because they're actually giving out the money. They've received the fees in Ripple, and they can also convert it to any fiat currency you want, and they only charge you cents. So it's a tremendous way to transfer money from one place to the other, and banks are using it. And the UniCredit is using it, UBS is using it. I remember that Santander is using it, because it creates a method that they can leverage to provide their customers with a much lower cost to transfer money from one place to the other. And in addition, there's almost no risk. Now, what you have to research are three things to look at a market cap. Number one, you have to look at who the developers are of Ripple. And if you go to coinmarketcap.com, you're going to get to go to their website. And you have to go to the bottom. Now, here they don't list the developers. But what I always do is I look for a phone number on the website. And if they don't have one, I always send them an email. And I tell them that I represent 125 investors who are in my option, my cryptocurrency alert newsletter. I ask them to call me back or to answer some questions via email. If I don't get an email back, I know it's not a serious company, because part of their mandate is to provide potential buyers with information. We have to know they're around, and customer service is really important. Now, somewhere here I know are the people who support this network. Let me see if it's in the developer center. I'm not going to go through it, but you have to look at who the developers are. And then the third thing is, which is really unfortunate at this point, is you have to look at message boards and see what the general consensus is. But here's the most important thing. And this information is information that I really had to research. If Ripple captures 100% of all of Western Union's fees to do wire transfers, and captures all of the money that banks charge their customers for doing ACH wire transfers, how much money would that bring them? And the answer is $2 billion. And if you look at Ripple, let's go back, and you look at Ripple's market cap right now, it's right now, the market cap stands at $33 billion. So it can't justify its market cap right now based upon the amount of money that they can garner by essentially capturing every cent of all the money that is used right now to transfer money from one place to the other. Now, we can assume that there are a lot of people in the world that don't transfer money because the fees are so high. I mean, if you're in India and you make $25 a week and you want to transfer, say, 10 or 15 bucks, the equivalent of 15 or 20 US dollars to somebody else in India, you can't afford to pay a $2 or $3 or $4 transaction fee. And that's what Western Union is going to charge you. And your bank is going to charge you a pretty high wire transfer fee. So let's assume that this doubles the market cap. That's still only $4 billion. But Ripple has a net of 33 billion. So you can see that right now it's hard to justify a $33 billion market cap. And this is one of the problems with all of these coins. They have monster market caps, and the potential market that they're looking to garner is oftentimes much smaller, even if they get 100% of the business. And you can see what's happened to Ripple. Now, it's taking a beating. And for all the hype that we hear about you're going to make $100 million or 10,000% trading altcoins, I'm telling you, most of it is coming from these crypto gurus who don't know anything. And you never want to buy any financial instrument that's in a downtrend. And I can show you, if we look at the 1 week, this is the 1 month, and then we go to the 3 month, what we have is we have a bull flag pattern right here. And this essentially is the bull flag. Here's the flagpole. And here's the move up. Now I'm giving you $2,000 worth of information here. Now I'm just showing you the move up. But here's the flagpole. And I see your question. I'll get to it in a second. Now, what you're looking for, optimally, the best place to take another trade and get back into Ripple is when it comes all the way back to here, the base of the flagpole. And this is where I would get back into Ripple. Right down here. Now, what we would look to do is we would look at, I wish Coinigy had a little bit of a better charting program. You can't stay in draw mode, but we'd like to see it hit, bounce, retest, and then move up. There's your safe trade. And if you get in at that price off of a bounce and retest, you have a great likelihood of eventually having this potentially move up all the way back to the top of the flagpole, which is going to be its first area of major resistance. It's going to have all these swing pivots to deal with. I'm not going to draw them out because it's such a pain in the neck on Coinigy, but you're going to have, I think I can drag this. And I swear to you, it cost me $2,000 to listen to this, and I already know it. You're going to have an area of resistance at every swing pivot. Here, you're going to have an area of resistance here. It's going to break all these swing pivots. As it moves up. And you can see there are multiple pivots here, 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 and here. And then the major area of resistance right here at the top of the flagpole. So you can see right now where Ripple sits, and that's one of my favorite altcoins. I consider it one of my blue chip altcoins because they really have a great set of developers. They also have great customer service. They're there. I get a live data feed that provides me with all the updated information. I'm going to show you what that is. I like to make the information that I provide you very, I like to make this informational. It's right here. And I'll answer your question in 1 second. Now, with somebody else, you might have to pay another $2,000 to learn this. But here's really the key. And this is really what, if you want to keep your pulse, you want to be able to take the pulse of the market. What you need is a live data feed. Now, I have to pay for this, but it's well worth it to me. And all you have to do, I put in CRYPTO, and then I hit crypto, and here's all the crypto information that comes across the wire right here. Where experts stand on Bitcoin after 40% plunge, blockchain crypto-related stocks as digital currency rout continues. Now, these are all the traders buying those Bitcoin-associated stocks. Overstock.com, blockchain. I actually own a couple of these, but I bought them way back. So this really gives you the ability to keep your finger on the pulse. Now, I have this set as an alert. So every time something crosses the ticker regarding Bitcoin, I know about it immediately. Excuse me. And I'm able to run over, take a look at the data, and find out if it's something that's gonna move me to get into the market. And you can see, all we see is negative, 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 negative. Explains. Now, I read this yesterday, and this is a great article. A guy by the name of Weiss at a Florida-based research firm created a scorecard for all the Bitcoins, and he gave Bitcoin a C+ rating. So it created a small shitstorm. I'll just be honest with you, because here's its rating: A, B, C, D, and E. And he tries to explain the model. It's a computer-generated model, and how he decided, the grade for each of his coins. Now, he's not going to tell you all of them, because if you want to know all of them, you got to pay for it. But he did release a few as teasers, and one of them was a C+ on Bitcoin. So this is the kind of information that crosses. It's very, very, very helpful. And you can see that the last thing was why crypto carnage has been worse in South Korea. And this is via Forex Live. So this is a big help. Now, if we go back again, now let me look at the question. Hang on 1 second here. Sure, Eddie. Listen, here's the thing. Eddie asks that whether the price of a coin is based on the amount of coins that are available. You really like to look at a coin that has that's printed between 20 and 50 million copies. If it's got 400 million or 500 million out there, it's going to have a problem. Because remember, there's only one. Listen, it's the same thing. It's the same thing that moves every financial instrument. Could you excuse me for 1 second? It's just my son. I will be back on 1 second. 1 second. I'm sorry. So it's simply supply and demand. So the smaller the supply, the smaller the demand that's required to push up the coin. And that's really a good question. But the problem is ultimately the value of the coin has to be determined upon how much money you think they're going to garner. Now that has to do with all the altcoins that are wrapped around the technology. Now there are a couple of other factors, and let's go to another coin that I really like, and we can take a look at it. Let me go to CoinMarketCap here. Now, one of them invented like a coin screener. So you look for the coins that have gotten that 100% retracement, are flat, and then moving up. But it's not going to get you great trades. Now, one of my other coins I really like is NEO. And let's take a look at NEO first right here. Now, what NEO is NEO is a Japanese version of Ethereum. And for many, many, many reasons, NEO is better than Ethereum. Now, NEO's value is not necessarily going to be on how much money it can garner, but the fact that NEO can potentially become the backbone for every single other altcoin. Now, right now, the backbone or the technology that's used, the DApp, the decentralized app, they're all based off of Ethereum. But NEO, I think, is a better coin than Ethereum. Now, maybe they'll coexist, but the more work you do at looking at NEO, the more you're going to find that it's simply a better version of Ethereum. And what NEO is looking to do is ultimately digitalize every physical asset in the world on its blockchain. So if you can imagine a world 25 or 30 years from now where the value of everything is based on the value of everything is in the NEO algorithm. So the value of your car, the value of your home, there is no fiat currency. They want to create a completely digitalized economy. And so their goal is to, and this economy is going to run and function so much better than the way our current economy does. Every physical asset will be priced in NEO. All the transactions will occur across the NEO platform via a smart contract. Think how streamlined it would make doing business across the world. Now, so they want every single DApp to be created on the NEO network. And the NEO network is also a decentralized protocol. Now, here's the big thing about NEO. Let me just see if there's any other question. I know, Ripple has an enormous number, and that's a big issue with Ripple. And that's the reason why Ripple is falling so hard, Eddie. The reason I do like Ripple, though, is because I think it's going to, as far as peer-to-peer, as the peer-to-peer transfer of money from one place to the other, to me, that's the altcoin of choice. And what we're really looking at right now is we're looking to determine what all coins are going to, listen, this is like the internet bubble that we're in right now. And you know, if you were in my original webinar, I went over how many stocks I used to trade in the internet bubble. And if you look what's going on right now, I mean, by 2004, 95% of those stocks had vaporized. I mean, stocks that were trading at $300 a share, like Commerce One, doesn't exist anymore. Vertical Net, Ariba, Exodus, Earthlink, they're gone. What we have to decide is 18 months to 2 years from now, which altcoins are going to be here. And there's only going to be a few, because a lot of these have overlapping function. So the market is simply going to sort out which ones they like and which ones they don't like, and the ones that they don't like are eventually going to fall to zero and go out, and they're going to vanish. We don't want to be in one of those. So the reason I like Ripple, the thing about Ripple is I think it's way overvalued, not only based on how much money they can potentially make in a year, but also on its float or the number of coins that are out there. So it's got a problem. I mean, it was trading at $2.50. It's way, way down. Now, I think NEO also right now is overpriced. And remember, I can go back to Coinigy. We want to make sure that when we get into NEO, and I don't have NEO, I have 4 coins, and I'm up a lot on 2, and I'm down on 2. And I rushed into 2 too quickly. I have Ethereum, I have Litecoin. I'm up a lot on Ethereum. I'm up just, I mean, I bought Litecoin at $150 a coin. It was up to $350, and now it's right back down to where I bought it. I'm down on Omizi Go, and I'm down on Tron. And the reason I am is because I rushed in. I got into Ethereum and Litecoin early, and then I trailed into Omizi Go and Tron. But I believe they're going to be around 2 or 3 years from now. So I scale into all of these in lots. But if let's look at what markets we can look at NEO on Binance. So let's go to Binance here, and let's go to NEO, and let's take a look at it. Now, let's see if we can find NEO. Here's NEO versus Ethereum. Let's see if we can find NEO versus the dollar. Okay, this is the best we can do. Now, here's NEO. Here's a week. Now, remember, this is a cross, and the value of Bitcoin, of Ethereum, is also falling as well. So I like to get the cross versus the dollar, but that's one of the problems here. You don't always get that. So we're looking at the valuation of NEO cross Ethereum, which is one of the negatives about all the charting on here. Let me see what I can find versus the U.S. dollar, which is what I like to. If I'm going to give an example, I like to do that the best. And this is the best charting platform there is, in my opinion. They don't get any better than this, and it's still not the greatest. And I'm just looking for a cross. Here's Ethereum versus the US dollar. And you can see Ethereum has got a problem. It's in a downtrend. And we never touch a financial instrument when it's trending down. And it's the same pattern. I'm telling you, you're going to see these. They do say you only have to trade one pattern. Essentially, it's really sort of making it a little bit simpler, because when the financial instrument, I'll just give you an example. Let's say it makes a 50% retracement. Excuse me, I'm sorry. To here. What's going to happen is it's either going to move up, it's either going to create sequential higher highs and higher lows, or it's going to consolidate and then launch out of consolidation. Now, I'd like to ask yeah, it is Carter's across the board, Mitchell. You're correct. We do not want to enter a market when it's coming down like this. It's the old falling knife adage. Now, let me ask you a question, and I'm telling you, you're gonna pay $2,000 to learn this. If a market is in consolidation, when is it likely to break? What is the one parameter we watch to look for a break of consolidation? Can anybody tell me? Anybody? Oh, we got a lot of people in the room. Yes, Mitchell, you hit it. We look at volume. We want to see consistent volume spikes. Now, when we're in a consolidation channel, we want volume to hit. That's the other thing about this. It's always constantly doing these pop-up advertisements. I do not use the paid version because I don't want to use this platform to trade off of. I just want to use it as a charting tool. So it pops me up these things. We want to look at consistent volume spikes. But what we want to use, more importantly, I believe, now everyone can always give you these retrospective looks at volume spiking, and then we want to look at average volume, which is right here. You can see average volume is pretty unimpressive. Now, I don't know what this moving average is that's creating this average volume line. It's not sophisticated enough to tell me. I've emailed them and I haven't gotten a response. Maybe I will. But what I would like to do is change this average volume, this moving average, so I can figure out how many candles back it's looking, and I don't know. But what I'd like to see is a generalized pickup in volume to tell me that there's real buying interest and that this instrument is going to launch up out of consolidation. Right now, you can see that there was a rise in volume here, and you can see how the price of Ethereum moved up, but it wasn't enough to cause it to break out. This is a failed breakout, and now it's right back down at the bottom channel. So if you jumped into it right down here on a rise in volume, which wasn't a bad trade, and it came up, as soon as it tested, you keep yourself from taking a loss. As soon as it broke the upper channel, you get out. So you're going to get out with not much of a profit when you take into account slippage and you take into account transaction fees. It's going to keep you okay. Yeah, that's correct, Eddie. But even the double bottom and the technical confirmation, you need to see a pickup in volume. I mean, they have to come together. If you don't, there's always a chance that even a double bottom is going to fail. So essentially, that's $2,000 worth of info packed right here. Now, I just want to talk to you about a couple other of my really favorite altcoins. And if I could get back here to coinmarketcap.com, which is here. Let me find. I'm gonna show you one that's a real off the wall one that I think has that I'm watching really carefully. I'm not going to talk about Omizi Go because it's also one of my favorites, and it's it's been halved since I bought it, but I only bought a small amount because I want to scale into this in lots of 4 or 5. So it's still heading down. I'm going to wait for it to really go down a lot more, and then I'm going to buy more. It's not averaging down. I think everything in this kind of market needs to be bought in small lots. Break it up into 4 or 5. But I want to show you one of my it's my Funcoin. Now, DentaCoin is another one I think that has a potential. But here's Funcoin. And I'll tell you what Funcoin is. Funcoin is a casino, is a decentralized casino platform. It's the first. It's now being followed by 2 coin ICOs, and I get all the ICOs off of my Benzinga data feed. Every single time an ICO is rolled out, it comes right across here. I write it down. I go to the website. I look and see what the coin, what software the coin is wrapped around, what it's going to do. So I have my ICOs on my list. But Funcoin is has first mover status in the casino, in the online casino business on a decentralized platform. And we all know that. Let's see what markets it's traded on. It's traded on Binance. So let's go to Coinigy and go to Binance. I think we're on it right here. And here's Funcoin. Can we get Funcoin versus the dollar? We can't. Okay, here's Funcoin versus Bitcoin. And even versus Bitcoin, you can see it's really coming down in price. Here was where you wanted to get it. And you can see this spiking in volume right here. And look at the spike here. Big volume spikes here while the instrument was in consolidation. I don't think I have to draw it. I'll just draw one line. But this is how you can make your big percentage, if you can catch these. But they're very hard to do right now, obviously, because everything's coming down. And there's the launch up of the price of Funcoin. And I can't calculate the percent, but it's a big percent. It's at least 100%. It's probably more. Right now, we're making sequential lower highs and lower lows. We wouldn't touch it, but it is it's a casino platform. Now, I've gone to the website. We can do that. And it's always important to do this. I mean, you want. There's no gimmick to this. You have to do your own due diligence, and it's consistently treated like a gimmick. Like, you know, you're going to get a 10,000% winner if you just sit there and buy everything that's worth 0.001 cent. It's got a really, really good technology team. They answer their emails like that. But if you look at what they've rolled out so far, they've rolled out hardly anything. This is all kinetic energy, not potential energy. So they have really not rolled out any significant stuff yet. And here's their project, you know, their timeline, and how they're going to roll out their different games. And I think it's going to attract business because I mean, you know, every now and then if I'm hanging around, maybe I would play a little blackjack, or maybe I would play 7-card stud or 7-card Texas Hold'em. The only thing that stops me from doing it is right now, I feel if I go to a casino site and put in my credit card, it's going to wind up buying somebody a Mercedes in Eastern Europe. I mean, they're going to steal my identity, steal all my money, and they're not reliable. But if you do business on the blockchain with a decentralized, with a dApp, they're building it off the Ethereum backbone. So it's going to be ultra secure, ultra safe. They can't cheat you. And, you know, you're going to pay for your experience in Funcoin. And I really think it has a very, very nice chance of developing a decent market cap because the casino industry is enormous. And first mover status is very important. Now, you know they're not going to be the only one in the industry. And already there's an ICO coming out, I think in 2 or 3 months, that's going to be a competitor for it. But I really, really like this. This is an outside chance for a small investment to get in and make. This is where you can make 1,000%. It's also where you can lose all your money as well. Nobody ever tells you about the risk. It's always about the cryptocurrency gurus telling you you're going to make 10,000%, but it is also associated with significant risk. But I wouldn't mind at some point. Right now, it's coming down in price. If you look at Coinigy, we can see even versus Ethereum or Bitcoin, it's falling in value faster than Bitcoin is. So it's very, very cheap because very little of their actual applications are online. I mean, they're all in the process of rolling out. But if you like it, now is the time to buy it, because once they start making money, it's going to really hit a home run. But optimally, you'd like to pick it off the bottom of the flagpole right here, and you'd like to get it on a bounce, on a test, a move up, a retest, and then a continuation up on really good volume. And look at the volume right now. It's real tiny. I mean, we wouldn't even consider moving into this right now. We just totally ignore it. Now, let me just show you really quickly a little bit more info. And let me find it somewhere here so I can show you. This wasn't meant, this was more meant to be a question and answer as opposed to my giving you like a lecture, but I don't mind doing this. Let me just, because this is really important. What's important about it is do not keep your money online. And this is the best ledger or the best place to keep all your altcoins and Bitcoin, everything. You keep it in your Ledger Nano S. Setting it up is not tough. I simply have the URL for Amazon because it seems to me it's the best place to buy it. But every time I do a webinar and when I do a master class, there's always 5 people who find it for a cheaper price. But I just want you to be aware of the best place to keep your altcoins. Don't keep them online. Get them off. You'll sleep better at night. Just make sure your kids don't flush it down the toilet or use it as a shovel. But it's just a little thumb drive. But it's an amazing tool because it right now there's about 25. It'll store about 25 altcoins. It will not store them all. And I'll just tell you briefly. That's what OMezy Go is trying to do. OMezy Go is trying to become the E-Trade of is trying to develop a platform that's like the E-Trade of stocks. And that's why I think OMezy Go has tremendous potential. Now, I bought OMezy Go too high, and I bought Tron too high, but I'm not going to make that mistake again. And I'm down a little bit because I only bought 1/5 of my potential lot. But I think OMezy Go is here to stay. It's a little more speculative than Ripple or Neo, and they've rolled out very little of their platform. But they're rolling out a platform you can trade every altcoin. It will also store fiat currency. It's going to be incredibly secure, and it's going to be like E-Trade or Thinkorswim. TD Ameritrade. It's going to be the TD Ameritrade of altcoin platforms. So you can get rid of all the other ones. Just set up your trading on OMezy Go. If you talk to them, and the developers will talk to you, they want you to, it's going to have advanced charting tools. You're going to be able to enter the market on limit orders, on buy stops and sell stops. This is going to be your really advanced technical platform for trading altcoins. And it has the potential to garner a huge amount of business. Now, the transaction fees are going to be infinitesimally small. Right now, you have to set up an account on Coinbase.com. I'm not going to go into it that much, because Coinbase is the place that where you have to send the money. I'm not going to go into. I don't want to log in because that's where my account is. And you're going to see. I don't want to show you my account number, my credit card, my bank account information, but you need a Coinbase account in order to rotate your money to all the other accounts. So I have an account on Poloniex, Bitfinex, Binex, but I'll just show you real quickly, which I didn't want to go through all these slides. Here's the user. It's very simple user interface here. Here's Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Litecoin. Gives you the price. You can see I took this slide quite a while ago. It's $14,000 on Bitcoin, and it's very easy to buy and sell. And it's also seamless and instantaneous. Now, the thing about Coin Market Cap, about Coinbase.com, is it's now really slow. If you go to buy Bitcoin, it could take a half an hour, 45 minutes to execute the transaction. It's real slow. If you transfer coins from Coinbase to your wallet, it's instantaneous. But if you need to transfer, say, money from Coinbase, Poloniex, or Coinbase to Bitfinex, it's also instantaneous. But then if you want to execute a trade, it is not quick. So that's another problem when you want to day trade, and one that I've never heard a single quote guru, because they're not interested in the logistics of the trade. They're interested in selling you a $2,000 or $3,000 product and not have you worry about the logistics until you try to take a trade. But if you're sitting on a platform like Poloniex and you want to get into a 0.002 cent altcoin and it's moving, you want to get in quick, because each incremental change in price could cost you 2 or 3 or 4%. And that's the problem. So day trading these can be lucrative, but you've got all these barriers that you're not going to hear. Now, I just wanted to show you one trade that I did take that was really successful. Only it's set up so nicely that it was impossible not to take. And let me find it for you. This is a real trade. I got to go through these and I'll show it to you. It's right here. This is on Tron, and I made 75% in 3 hours after slippage and all the junk I had to go through. I had to wait 15 minutes for the trade to execute, but this created the perfect bull flag pattern. There's the flagpole. It came back about 75%. It was consolidating along a channel. I knew that my first area of resistance was here. I took 50% off right here. I wasn't sure it would break. And you see what happened? It came up, price retested with this wick, never broke, and then continued all the way up. That's exactly what you would expect on a trade like this. You just don't get many of these that you can spot, even with a scanner. And somebody did invent a scanner, but these are few and far between. Thank you, Eddie. They're very difficult to do. And they really are aggravating, because you have to sit and wait for the transaction to execute. And it's costly. They charge you $5 a round trip. So it costs you $10 to get in and $10 to get out. So listen, I'm not going to trade a whole lot of money on this, because they all drive, they all have a driveway full of 14 Jaguars. I have a Jeep. So I'm not going to risk a lot of money on a really risky trade. So a $10 round trip makes a difference in the percentage of I'm going to trade. I'm not going to trade 10,000 bucks on this, and throw it out to you that I made $25,000 or whatever amount of money. I traded a small amount of money. Had a great return on investment, but these are hard to engineer. The best thing to do, and the way that I'm playing this market, is I constantly look at the technicals, and I'm telling you exactly what I do. I am looking to get into the blue chip altcoins like Ripple, like OMezy Go, which is a little riskier, at the best price I can. Now, today, a lot of information crossed on Bitcoin. They're generally the big brains, supposedly, but these are guys who cross. If you cross the ticker on Benzinga, you have knowledge. It's basically very, very bearish. I saw one guy, I can't remember the brokerage firm, was saying he thinks it's going to trade within an $8,000 to $13,000 range. So he's looking for a downside to $8,000. What we would do, and I would recommend, and I'll answer that question, is we're going to trade Bitcoin with what we see. We're not going to make any predictions. We're going to wait until it bases, consolidates, puts in a higher low and a higher high, comes back, puts in another higher low and higher high, and then the third one we're going to take a trade on. When it starts to form a rising channel, and it does it on good volume, then we'll trade it. We don't need to make predictions like that. I don't need to say, okay, at 8,000, I'm going to buy Bitcoin. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll buy it in 3 days. It's just got to set up technically. And if it does, we will. And that's really what I am doing. Now, let me just answer this question. You know what, Aaron? It's a really good question. I really haven't done a lot of due diligence on VeChain. And I don't want to give you information that I'm not sure of. I've really done really in depth on about 35 altcoins, and that's one on my list to do. So I can't, I wish I could give you more info on it. Let's take a look at it real quickly. I got so many tabs up here. Here it is. I think the ticker is VEN. Here it is, VeChain. Let's look at it technically. Let's look at a chart. And this is just our rough charting pattern. Now it's made a technical bounce here on a double bottom. So let's take a look at what markets it trades on. It trades on Binance. So let's go to Coinigy, and we're on Binance, and let's go to VEN. Take a look at it. Now, let me tell you, if you want to, you can trade these coins simply based on their technicals. Right now, if you want to do that, you can. Now, here's VEN versus Bitcoin. See, that's the problem. You can't get VEN versus the dollar, and that's really what you want. And this is like a Forex cross. And you can see that Ethereum is dropping, but VEN or VCoin is dropping faster. And right now, I think the best place to do is to go back to the lousy charting platform, which is CoinMarketCap, unfortunately, if I can find it. Here it is. And let's go to the chart here. Now, these are not accurate. That's the thing. Today, it's down 3.64%, which also is not so accurate. And this exact price, it's not changing in real time. So we don't know exactly what it's doing. But I think the stock has good potential, and I really have to do a lot more due diligence on it. It's a very, very good question, and that's one of the coins it's on my list to look at. And I have a list of 12 blue chips right now, and Monero's on it. I love Monero. And one other thing I wanted to tell you about, and I see the other, about NEO. NEO is working with NEO is a Chinese altcoin. And what I like about it is working with the Chinese government. And if you think, now, when you make a transaction on the blockchain, it's incredibly secure. Now, besides Monero, it is not anonymous. If a governmental, now it bypasses, it bypasses governmental agencies, it bypasses banks, it bypasses everything, and that's really its advantage. But if a government wants to see whether or not you're sending $3 million to fund, heroin production in Mexico, they can do it. They can get a miner to unlock a block and provide them with all the information they need. So it is not anonymous if anybody wants to take a look. And what NEO is doing is and this is what Ethereum does not have built into it, is it's working with the Chinese government to provide NEO with an ability, with actual software and coding, so that if the Chinese government wants the blockchain to look up a particular transaction, they can do it. And I will tell you that one of the big things that's going to drop the price further, I believe, and keep this market deflating is right now everyone anticipates that there's going to be the institution of government regulations. And the government regulations, they're not going to let all this go without unregulated, because hundreds of millions of dollars can cross across these networks, and they're not going to let it happen anonymously. They want the ability to track the money. It's going to occur in a decentralized process very rapidly, and it's going to be going to have incredible security. And both the originator and the end user is going to know that each one of them is real. But the government's not going to let this go, and everyone is waiting for the shoe to drop. And government regulations are going to put a cramp on a lot of these altcoins, but it's not going to do it with NEO, because NEO is building them into their protocol, and they are working with China to make sure that it has the kind of transparency such that the Chinese government is not scared that there'll be a lot of illegal activity across the blockchain. It's going to happen to all these coins anyway. So the ones that are building it into their protocol are going to be the most adoptable, and they're going to be the ones that survive. Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum do not have that. They're going to have to build it in. That's why their price is getting depressed, because they're going to wind up having to make huge changes in their blockchain to accommodate government regulations, and NEO's not going to. Now, the price is still getting let out of everything, but I think that's why NEO is really going to survive, and I think NEO one day has the potential to be much more valuable than Ethereum. So let me just look at the question. Yeah, Keith. Yeah, unfortunately, you have to. You have to take the cross or the spread. But then once the trade is made, and it doesn't make any difference, because over the course of 15 to 20 minutes, it doesn't make any difference whether you trade the cross or you trade versus the US dollar. Essentially, you're going to wind up with the same value in your pocket. And once you get your coins, You just take them off and you put them in your wallet. I would like to be able to trade versus the dollar, but that's the problem with this market right now, and one that no one ever talks about, is that you have to trade. And if you go to Coinigy, you see that very rarely do you have the ability. Now, this is Binance, and this is Bitfinex. You can't even get into these platforms anymore. You have to go to Poloniex, which is here. You have to go to KuCoin, which is here. You have to go to alternate ways of trading because these are just stuffed, and they don't give you the opportunity to cross it with the dollar that often. But for the actual transaction, it doesn't really matter because you're getting it right off. You're getting that value in the altcoin you want. It has a value in US dollars, and you can transfer the altcoin into your Nano S. So it's not a huge negative. Here's what would be the negative on that. Sure, it'll be sent right out to you, Ronald. Once it settles in the coin that you purchase, transferring it to your Nano is instantaneous. You got it off of Coinbase, or you can move it from Poloniex to Coinbase instantaneously. Once it settles and you've got the coin you want, you can pop it right over to Coinbase. It should only take a couple of seconds, and then into your Nano wallet really quickly. The only slow part of this is when you actually make the transaction. And if you look at the speed of Bitcoin, it is really now processing a transaction once every 15 to 30 minutes, which is, I am not sure that Bitcoin is going to be the future payment solution worldwide. It is too slow. It also requires proof of work and not proof of stake. And I don't want to get into that whole proof of work versus proof of stake protocol. Bitcoin and is trying to transfer over to proof of stake. I think it's going to take them a year to a year and a half. It's the first coin, but believe me, it is not the best. Litecoin could take that role. Ethereum could take that role. But I don't know if it's going to be Bitcoin. Them having first mover status is huge, but it is not a great protocol. It's very slow. It uses an enormous amount of electricity. The proof of work is really poor versus proof of stake, and it's just not that great. I'll be very cautious about buying Bitcoin now that traders are getting more savvy and they're knocking it down in price. I would only go into it on the cheap. I wouldn't rush into Bitcoin. Let's see if we can find it again. Right here is Bitcoin, and we got the dollar. You can see it is taking a beating. So I'd be very cautious about this. And we're gonna, if I bought it, I would have to take it off of a test and retest of the bottom. I know that may be unrealistic, but I'm not going to risk it anyplace else because I don't think it's that great of a coin. So the only other thing I'll just tell you is just throw you a little other little nugget if you like it. Let me get the slide up. I'll bring the slides over. I didn't want to bore you with all the slides, but I'll show them to you. Because I have everything here about proof of work, proof of stake. If you for your phone, this is a great app. I think here's all the other apps. This is all the other software platforms I use. Blockchain info is CoinCap. If you have an Android or you have an iPhone, just go to the App Store. It's free. It's just called CoinCap. It's real good. It gives you real-time data on the price of all the altcoins, every single one of them. It allows you to segregate them into little different watch lists. It allows you to create alerts on those watch lists. And it's a little clunky. And I have an iPhone 8, and it's constantly freezing. and then I have to, like, double click on the button and push it out, and then restart it. So it has its downsides to it, but it's still I think it's the best app for your phone right now. Eventually, you're going to be able to trade off your phone, and that is what OMeasy Go wants to give you the ability to do. I take most of my Thinkorswim options trades right off of my Thinkorswim app on my phone. I rarely open my computer platform except to configure my spread trades, but I actually execute them. It's too easy to execute them on my phone, so I just do it there. So CoinCap is a really nice phone app. Okay. Oh, no, Bill. Once you complete a transaction, you can either leave it in Bitcoin. Well, you want to leave it in Bitcoin or Ethereum because optimally, that's what you're investing in. I mean, you move US dollars into Coinbase. You take those US dollars and move them into, say, Poloniex. You purchase your Ethereum or your Bitcoin on Poloniex. That may take you a bit of time. Then afterwards, with lightning speed, you move them from there to Coinbase, and from Coinbase to your Nano wallet, and they're gone. You have them in your possession, and they're safe. And then you just got to hope the value goes up. And then you can put them back on and sell them at a much higher price. And you get, obviously you get the difference. And you can transfer it back into your Nano wallet in cash. So, you need a Nano wallet to move back and forth and move and leave as little on Coinbase as you have to. I mean, right now, Coinbase is pretty safe and pretty secure, but I'm not leaving any money that I don't want to trade on those platforms. All my altcoins are stored on my Nano S, and I don't have to worry about waking up one morning and finding that Coinbase has been hacked and they've lost, $500 million in altcoins, and my account's the one that's been looted. It's basically it's up to their goodwill if they want to replace the money, if they're not legally obligated to do so. So if it's in my Nano, I don't have to care. Now, there are other good wallets. I'm only proffering you the one that I like. And I'll just show you one other really cool slide that I found. And I can't even remember where I got it. This is considered to be the general way that all financial instruments start trade when they first come out or rolled out. And I can't remember the person that developed it. I certainly didn't create this curve. I found it somewhere, and I might have found it in a Benzinga article, actually. And here's the stealth phase where it first comes out, and it first creates awareness. And of course, there's a lot of skepticism, so it sinks a little bit and creates a bear trap. They're going to short it. You can't short this. They're going to sell it, but it's just a trap. Because then comes the mania phase, which we've seen already, where a finite amount of people know about it, but they go crazy over it. So it gets media attention, it goes to enthusiasm, it goes to greed, it goes to delusion, then it goes to the new paradigm, and then as it falls the first time, all the traders holding it at the top, they're in denial because they don't believe this instrument it has the possibility of losing money. And it creates a bull trap because traders figure if it was worth it here, when it falls this amount, it's got to be worth it here. They buy it up, but then you get fear, capitulation, and despair, and it comes right back to where it started. And there's your return to the mean. And if you look at Bitcoin, it's doing the same thing. Here's the stealth phase and awareness phase. Here's that bear trap. And here's where you start getting that mania phase, the the greed and delusion phase. Here is your bull trap and your move up. And here's the continuation down. Now, this slide is about 2 months old. And since I got this slide, you can see that Bitcoin is above 10,000 here. And you can see it slid below 10,000. And it is recreating exactly this curve that some real smart person created. And this is for brand new financial instruments. This guy analyzed hundreds of internet stocks that rolled out and found that enormous numbers just followed this curve. And that's exactly what Bitcoin is doing. So our anticipation is that we're going to get to the capitulation and despair phase, and it's going to come all the way back to the depths, and that's where we will potentially buy it. After it turns right at the bottom, optimally, and that's where we buy it back. So I hope you learned some stuff, and here's really what I'd like to talk to you. Now, this is part of my master class. I go into it. If you'd like to take my master class, it's not tomorrow, but it's a week. It's a week from tomorrow. It's next Saturday. It's $799, and it's really I have it on paper as 4 hours. The last one went 6.5 hours because I limit it to 10 people. I only have 2 people signed up because I just rolled it out. I don't want to pressure you into thinking if you don't sign up tomorrow, you may get closed out. But there's only 8 more slots because everybody asks a million questions. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to trade cryptocurrencies. I'm going to start with the understanding that you don't know anything. I'm going to show you how to set up a Coinigy account. I'm going to show you how to set up a Poloniex account. I'm going to show you how to set up all your accounts. I'm going to show you how to move money from one account to the other. I'm going to show you how to purchase these and sell these. I'm going to show you how to set up your nano wallet in your digital wallet. I'm going to show you my blue chip altcoins. And I'm just going to go over my thesis for why I believe these are going to be the coins that are going to be around 5 years from now. Now, remember, we do have tremendous first mover status because there are no mutual funds and there are no hedge funds that are still licensed, that are yet licensed to buy any kind of altcoin or cryptocurrency. And I just learned from Benzinga that they're applying for the right to do so. So if we are in the right coins at the right price, when the mutual funds and the hedge funds start washing this asset class with money, we are going to get swept up on a tide. Now, I really believe that to be the case, or I wouldn't even be involved with these. I mean, I make a lot of money trading options, and I have an options alert newsletter. I put them all out to everyone. We made 105% last year, and we did it safely, and I'm not going to risk any of my own personal money, and I trade all of this with my own money. Every recommendation I make, I take. I'm going to show you how to research the coins and all the important software associated with it. I already showed you a lot of patterns, and I showed you a lot of candlestick formations. Really the coin leaders, my personal favorites. And I have one coin that I do believe is going to explode in March. I haven't told you about it because I got to hide something from you, and it may not. But I'm positioning myself for that. It's a very low risk, potentially very high reward coin. And in the class, I'm going to teach you I'm going to teach you what it is, and I'm going to recommend you get into it. It's trading at just a tiny amount of money. Now, I'm telling you this for the same information. You can pay $2,000 and get this on 30 DVDs, along with all these PDF add-ons that are all worth thousands of dollars. And I saw one. I've taken all their classes, and but I believe I have to invest in my own education, and I want to see what everybody else is teaching, and they don't all come with a refund, so I paid for it. And one of them, in creating value, charges you $500 an email. So as part of the total value that he discounts is $2,000 for 4 emails where you can run your trades by this guy. I don't charge you anything for emails. So you have 2 opportunities. You can come aboard my alert newsletter. I've only put out 10 so far, and I'm going to put one out this weekend. And right now, I mean, there's nothing. I'm going to tell you, there's nothing to buy. I'm simply going to update you on the cryptocurrencies that I like, give you any new information I see in the field. I was going to appraise every one of the new new licensing applications that are out there for hedge funds and for mutual funds. Just sit tight. It's got an SMS text messaging service. If I see another trade like I saw on Tron, I'm going to send it to you via text message. Now, if you sign up for the masterclass, and I don't even like masterclass. It's just a real comprehensive, solid class. I'm going to try to teach you everything I know. You get 3 months of the alert newsletter along with it. So I don't know if I don't know if January 20th is the right date. I think I forgot to change the date. January 20th is my last class. It's not this Saturday, it's next Saturday. So I think it's the 10th of February. Tomorrow's the 3rd, so it's February 10. And it's going to last until we're done. I mean, it's scheduled for 4 hours from 10 a.m., but it's going to go until everybody has all their questions answered. And I usually get like 200,000 emails afterwards, which I answer all of them, about people who have logistical problems, getting onto this platform or that platform. And listen, if you're going to start this, now is the time to do it. And let me just tell you one other reason why. The reason is that it takes you a week to get approved, even on Poloniex now. So there's a mad rush into this industry or into this investment niche. At the same time, it's collapsing. So we've got an influx of potential purchasers who, if they're smart, are sitting on their cash. And when this market reverses, I think it's going to be swept up even on a large amount of small investor money. And as long as there's more people trying to get in than they can fit through the doorway at any given time, it's a great time to get started. I mean, I'm hoping to make really nice money, but I'm not looking to realize it. My time window is not going to tell you you're going to make 15,000%. I see all this stuff. This guy's got a crypto hack, and his crypto hack is going to make you 10,000%. This guy's got a crypto script, and this crypto script is going to make you, 5,000%. There's no hack and there's no script. There's no shortcut. It takes a tremendous amount of due diligence. You've got to read and understand the white paper associated with all the currencies you're looking to trade. You have to understand the technology to be able to make an assessment of its future viability. And in addition, you've got to look at their market cap, and you do have to look at the cap at the coin float. And then you have to look at the technicals to get in. Finding a great coin is a tremendous importance, but buying it at a great price is also tremendous. You don't want to be sitting there sitting with a loss and have to wait a year for it to come back to where you purchased it. And if it's a great coin, it will come back. And I don't believe I'm going to take a loss ultimately on anything. This is why we're going to purchase it in small lots. And the kind of technicals it's going to show you is if we've made the correct decision and we buy at the appropriate point in a bull flag setup, we're going to get a rising channel, and we can buy each lot off of the bottom of that rising channel. We can buy it safely and scale in safely. And this is the way we're going to do it. So it's a real comprehensive class, no tricks, no hacks, no script. You know, I just do a lot of work at night, and that's how I do my options, a tremendous amount of work. I use 2 data feeds. I use Benzinga and Options Monster. For this, I use my Benzinga data feed. I read every single piece of data that crosses the ticker every day on cryptocurrencies. Not that many cross, maybe 15 to 20 a day, sometimes 25. And that gives me a really good feel for where the market is headed, because it gives me the sentiment of all the big investors, all the brokerage firms. They're not personally putting their money in, but they do have a lot of opinions. And I think those opinions matter. And they do very sophisticated technical analysis. And sometimes they demonstrate it right in the alert. And they show you things that you may not have necessarily noticed. So it gives me a good feel, but it takes me time. But I go through it pretty quick. So if there are any other questions, let me just see if there are. Okay, Bill. Okay, all right. Okay, hold on. Okay, JP, when do you anticipate the hedge funds and mutuals are coming into? Listen, I think they're going to be in the next 6 months outside. I mean, listen, they're looking right now. Their applications are in, and they're simply waiting for approval. If you think that they're going to get, that at this point they're going to get locked out of this market, you know that they're going to be mutual funds that invest exclusively in cryptocurrencies. You know that hedge funds are going to leverage these big time, and they have already applied. So I can't give you a time for an approval process, but I can tell you I'm not telling you that they're going to apply sometime out in the future. Their applications are in for, whatever it is, SEC approval. And once they get them, they're going to be buying. And that's when they're going to buy the best coins and they're going to move them up. So we want to be in ahead of them. And again, it's not a selling push. I'm just telling you, those apps are in. And once they're approved, you're going to see they're going to start rolling out. Remember way back, there were mutual funds and hedge funds just exclusively devoted to internet stocks. There was the Jacob Internet Fund, and all of these, all they did was internet stocks, and now the internet stocks are gone. So all those hedge funds and mutual funds are gone, but these aren't going anywhere. This asset class is here to stay, and there's always going to be a lot of investment activity here. So I can't give you a date, but it's coming. Maybe the prerequisite attendees have accounts set up on at least a couple of key exchanges and have their HW wallets in hand. Bill, it's totally up to you. I just want to give you the knowledge to be able to move money back and forth. If the day after this class, you sit on a Sunday and you make an application to every platform I recommend, you're going to get approved in about 7 days. And you will already know how to move money back and forth, how to manipulate the platform, how to buy and sell, how to move money to your Nano S. I'm going to show you how to set it up. So you're going to be good to go. And remember, you're going to get it on video afterwards. And you're the only ones who are going to get the video. The only traders who get the video of the class are the ones who are in it. So you can review it if you like and go through it. So it's totally up to you whether you want to get on these platforms first, but I'm also going to recommend the certain platforms. I mean, I would like to get you on Bitfinex or Binance, but you can't get them. Now, GDAX is definitely, surely it's definitely better than Coinbase. And I didn't want to talk about GDAX here, but I'm going to get you all on GDAX because the GDAX transaction fees are much cheaper than the Coinbase transaction fees. But GDAX and Coinbase are brother and sister. So you can transfer money back and forth from Coinbase to GDAX real quickly. So you're going to have your money in Coinbase, but you're going to take all your trade executions on GDAX. And GDAX is open. So that's all the stuff that we're going to go through. And you're going to have a really firm foundation for being able to become a wise investor in this new asset class. Now, I think 2 or 3 years from now, investing in this will be no better than investing in stocks. The mutual funds will be there, the hedge funds will be there, the big money will be there. Some will rise, some will fall, and will be no different than investing in Qualcomm or United Parcel Service or DuPont. They're going to be your blue chips that move up or down a small percentage. There's always going to be your riskier ICOs, but it's not going to have the potential that it has now. And I truly believe that from my heart. I mean, the fact that we don't have any institutional money in these really speaks volumes. And the fact that they've applied and they're getting ready to, to fire is a big deal. This comes once in a lifetime. I mean, how many times in a lifetime do you get a whole new asset class? Now, the internet stocks were a new asset class, even though they were traded on the NASDAQ. They really weren't a unique asset class until they exploded and vaporized, and only a few are left. But the good ones are still around, like Qualcomm and Amazon and Google and eBay, and I could go down the list. And way back when I invested in Audible, which is still around. The good ones that had a good that had a good mandate, that knew what they were doing and had the potential to make money. I mean, you remember the first few years that Amazon was around, it lost money head over fist. I mean, every quarter was not how much it was going to make, it was how much was it going to lose. And a lot of traders were not sure that Amazon would last. Now, when Amazon burps that it's going into another field, it crashes the stocks of that. I mean, I had a spread on CVS last month, 50 cents away from its profit target, and Amazon just said that it's going to go into the pharmacy business, and that was going to be 2 or 3 years off in order to get all the licensing required, and CVS dropped $10 a share. And if you saw what it did to the HMOs, I saw Cross Benzinga, I think it was either yesterday or the day before. It's creating its own little mini HMO with JP Morgan Chase. And it's going to offer healthcare services to all of its 1.1 million employees. That is sort of the precedent for creating its own HMO. And Humana went down $10 a share. Cigna went down $15 a share. United Healthcare was down $8 a share, simply because Amazon burped that it was creating something. It may not even be successful. That's how powerful it's become, from being a company that never made a dime to being a company now that makes an enormous amount of money. That's what we want to do. We want to try to sort these out, so 2 or 3 years from now, we're in coins that are rocking. We already set the precedent. We know that internet stocks blazed out of existence. We don't want to be into those coins. I think I've done enough due diligence to understand the business model or the technology of the altcoins I recommend, and I'm only going to recommend the best. And I've already given you a few. NEO, Ripple, and there are 12 or 13 more. And the only other thing I want to mention, then I'm going to stop because I don't want to blather on, is that we want our portfolio of altcoins to be diversified. That is why I do so well with options. Options traders tend to buy 2 or 3 options a week or a month, and they either flame out or they do great. What I want to create is a diversified portfolio of blue chip altcoins in non-competitive markets that have non-competitive digital software. So that's really of prime importance. So if you look at all the different altcoins that transfer money, we want to pick the best. Ultimately, there's going to be a basket of altcoins that are going to be in the casino area. We want to pick the best. We want the best. We want the coin that we think is going to become the peer-to-peer transaction king of the world. Is it going to be Bitcoin? I don't think so. What's going to be the coin that's going to create all of the dApps for all the other altcoins? It still could be Ethereum, but I'll tell you, NEO is a serious challenge. And it may be that we want to own them both, but there are going to be many others that come up to try to challenge them. And then there are a few really cool, penny priced altcoins, of which Funcoin is one of them. But there are a couple of others that I think that have the potential to be $2, $3, $4 altcoins 18 months from now. And right now they're trading for less than a penny. I love their business model. I love their developers. They're brilliant guys. These are honest coins, and they really have a good chance of success. I already told you another one. It's Tron. Tron is a decentralized application for harboring all of the entertainment media, magazines, books, movies. Remember, what is the most common thing to get stolen? It's all of this proprietary information. We have people come up to the office all the time selling us, before it even came out in the theaters, selling us DVDs that had the new Star Wars movie on it. People get hold of an original movie, and then they create tens of thousands, if not millions, of DVDs, and they sell them. And keeping all of this secure is really a major problem. And I think it's all going to go on the blockchain. And Tron is run by a genius. He's a mentor of the guy who owns Alibaba. I think they have a chance of merging. I bought it way too high, but I love their mandate, their software, the developers, their team, and I'm going to re-recommend it at only a fraction of what I bought it at, and I'm going to buy it again. But those are the kind of coins we're looking at. Ones that I believe have a really good software mandate, are going to be around many, many years from now, and are just going to soar. So that's it. If there are no other questions, I'm going to go. I don't want to talk people to death. Let me see here. Oh, let me tell you, Forks JP, nobody can know. Every time a blockchain is hacked, they create a fork. And every time they create a fork, it splits off the users. So when Bitcoin forked, it split all the users into Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. It kind of pushes the developers in 2 different directions. So, forks are usually catalyzed by a hack or a major infrastructure problem that requires a major blockchain change. And then you have the devotees of the old and the devotees of the new, and that's what happened to Bitcoin. And you have Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. And I read a lot of stuff, whether Bitcoin Cash is worth more or Bitcoin. But nobody can foresee a fork, and nobody plans a fork. A fork is what it is sort of the aftermath of a small calamity. And you try not to create a fork. So I don't know, but it's always possible. I mean, the master hackers of the world, I mean, they just made off with $450 million worth of altcoins from some platform somewhere. I just read about it a day or two ago. I mean, this is going to become a really lucrative business, hacking these blockchains and stealing their altcoins. Nothing is impregnable. We found that out. But if they hack the blockchain itself, you're not at risk. But nothing is 1,000% secure. And if something gets hacked, they could fork it, and then users may split off into the original or to the fork. Let me tell you, I'm still sitting here trying to figure out whether Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash is better. I really don't know. I read so much stuff pro and con that I can't form a really good opinion yet. I don't own Bitcoin. I know where I'm looking to get into it. I don't know which is the best of the two. I truly don't, because I read so much conflicting information regarding them. I mean, and this is the big stuff that crosses the ticker regarding the two. I can't really say. I don't look at those YouTube videos, those guys. There's a couple of smart guys out there. I used to listen to them at night, but they just, I don't know, they're all over the map. And I find them at the end of the day to confuse me more than they provide me with information. This is the best place to go. If you want really reputable, really solid information, this is where you have to stay. That's, I really think. And I could sit there and make, YouTube videos every day about Bitcoin and all my favorite altcoins, but it's a waste of time, because 2 or 3 weeks from now, it may change. And that's the one thing we're going to do, and then I'm going to end, is our blue chip portfolio. We may rotate a coin out, rotate a coin in. We're going to keep it dynamic, and we're going to keep it pumping. That's really my my mandate. So if you want to know everything there is to know that I know, I'm going to teach you all I know about this niche. And we're only going to finish when all the questions have been answered. And like I said, there's no gimmicks here. There's no hacks. There's no code cracked. There's no formula. This is just another asset class. We want to leverage it to the best of our ability based on a lot of knowledge and based on technical analysis. Really, no more, no less. So listen, everyone, have a really great afternoon. Weekend's coming up. Time to go out and party. For me, going out and partying is like, I go out and I go to McDonald's and I have a hamburger with my son. That's it. And listen, thank you, Eddie. So I hope everybody learned something. I didn't want to drag you in here on a Friday afternoon just to nag you about signing up for my class. I would like you to, and I think you'll profit from it. And I think you'll profit from the newsletter. I wouldn't give it if I didn't think you would. But also, if you go no farther than this, I want you to be able to say, you know what? I spent an hour and a half on Friday afternoon, and I know a lot more about this this investment opportunity than I did before. That's the most important thing to me. So listen, everyone, have a really, really great weekend. I hope to see you, but if not, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you make money here, because I think there's money to be made. So have a really, really great weekend, and take care, and hope to see you. Bye-bye. We'll do that. I will do that, Rob. Not a problem. I'll send out a recording of this webinar to everyone in the room. Take care, all. Bye-bye.